What is up, guys? How's it going? It's James, and first I'd like to apologize that it's been so long for me to make a video, but nevertheless I am back, and hopefully I'm back for good. And today we're actually going to be looking at GhostWire Tokyo. It's a game that was just released. It's actually a pretty good game, and we are going to be benchmarking it on the GTX 1070. Now keep in mind that this is a MSI Aero GTX 1070 and it's a blower style card, so if you peep my temperatures and you might be questioning like, hey, your card's overheating, it's not, it's just a reference card, and unfortunately they only dissipate heat through the back. And fortunately for the case I have, the Thermaltake Core V1, it's actually the appropriate style card for this, because I'd rather have heat being blown out instead of the heat being blown into the case and having nowhere to escape, thus affecting my thermals. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the benchmark. We're going to be running this game at 1080p. Unfortunately, dynamic super resolution is just having some issues, and scaling it to 1440p and 4K is just not happening on this monitor. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be running this game in low, medium, high, and absolutely crank details, and at the very end we're going to be running them at my recommended settings, and then I'm going to explain a little bit why I have these settings as such. But again, I digress, I'm talking too much. Let's go ahead and get into the benchmark. So the reason I did the benchmark like this instead of like I did in the last video is so you can actually see the frames per second as in kind of like a live way, so that way it saves me the issue of having to round all these up and averaging out the numbers, because I don't feel like math right now, to be completely honest with you. But again, let me know how you guys feel about these type of videos down in the comments below. I don't know why, but just leaving SSAO on instead of the SVGI or whatever the hell it's called actually increases performance like 10-15 frames per second. Don't know why. Maybe they'll fix that in the patch, but
あったよ。
受話器を取れ。俺がつなぐ。
何これ？
エドが作った装置だ。そこに片白をかざせ。霧で霊になったやつはこれで外に送れば元に戻るはずだ。
この装置。
So I'm actually going to go ahead and enable ray tracing in this game. Some developers actually leave that option, so it's up to you whether you want to enable it or not. And again, this is a GTX 1070, not an RTX card, but you can actually squeeze some playable performance if you turn ray tracing settings on low and you turn either FSR on or the TSR up into performance mode. You will get around 30 frames, never too much below that, and just a couple more higher than that. So given this is a single player game, it's still a playable experience. I also noticed that I said something about temperatures, and I'm just now noticing that you actually can't see my temperatures because I did not enable it in the on-screen display. But like I said, the temperature hovers around 80 to 82 degrees Celsius, even with a custom fan curve, because again, this is a blower style card based off a reference design. It's not the actual reference card. But yeah, so just if you have anything similar, just expect these temperatures, but it's not harming the card at all.
子供の頃から普通じゃなかったのか。
向こうの世界の食べ物だな。俺たちなら食えるぞ。この世の食べ物と。地図の範囲。これは俺が調べた事件について書かれてる。何かの参考にはなるかもな。
誰？
仲間だ。
え？
だったと言うべきか。あいつは奪うことをためらわない。俺だ。あの世の干渉が強くなってるんだ。このままじゃあの世に押しつぶされる。距離があるな。さっきの弓を使え。しっかりと狙いを定めているんだ。持って数分だ。急げ。まださっきの石があるはずだ。探すぞ。
And now I want to get into my recommended settings. So there are two versions of these. It's completely up to you. I run this with the TSR, or basically the image scaling off. You will get slightly higher fidelity. You will notice a slight visual improvement, but it really doesn't make as big as a difference, and it's not as worth the performance that you would get if you actually leave this enabled to quality or something like that. for the sacrifice. It's just a really tiny amount of image quality, but these are actually my recommended settings if you're going to play this game with similar hardware.
さっきのはこいつの仕業か。追うぞ。
これって
汚れだ。さっきの力を使って調べてみろ。おい、怪我するぞ。離れろ。そっちじゃない。まずはあの汚れを調べてみろ。